Hello one and all to another performance analysis video, this time looking at the latest remaster from Capcom in Resident Evil 6. And this is the first game in a remaster set they're releasing that includes Resident Evil 5 and 4. But strangely enough, working in reverse order. So we start with the latest game first and the first game last. Anyway, what we're looking at here is the Xbox One and PS4 releases, and basically they are remaster in name and in standard as we would expect. Fully supporting a 1920 by 1080 resolution on both machines and a 60 FPS target rate. This is definitely what we want from a remaster. But from here on in, the leap doesn't seem as big, and we're treated to pretty much the same asset quality and texture quality that we saw in the previous gen release. Obviously, the 360 PS3 version was targeting 30 frames per second. This is more like the PC release, so you get better quality textures, you get better resolution, but obviously the same FXA solution used on post-processing, which does tend to show up in shimmer on specular highlights and thin areas, as you would expect generally in this solution, but it works reasonably well. The texture quality, like I say, is a bit of a mixed bag though. Some areas are okay and some areas are really bad. In fact, there's points where I waited around thinking this just must be a bitmap loading streaming issue, but they don't really load in and they don't get any better than this, what you can see on screen. So it really does its job, but it's not going to win any awards, and it's certainly showing its age a little bit from its last gen roots. But our floppy haired hero is still in place and he still looks as cool and hip as ever, saving the damsel and the day. But in terms of performance, what are we looking at? Well, it seems just like the resolution, we've got a near identical game on Xbox One and PS4. And it should also come as no surprise knowing the GPU differences that the Xbox One ever so slightly falls behind the PS4 in terms of that performance target. Now, both games run a fully V-Sync display, so no tearing gets in the way, which is a very nice little treat, but it does achieve the 60 target pretty much all the way through the game, with the majority of dips on both versions in fact identically at certain points coming from saving and loading checkpoint issues, which is not an unknown in these games. In fact, generally it's still something that's common across most game types. Sometimes when loading new scenes and assets jump in, you see dips of a frame or two, and obviously when there's heavy post effects in the scene or alpha effects bobbing up, then this is where the Xbox One tends to drop most of its frames compared to the PS4, which tends to hold all these scenes with post effects pretty solid 60. Now, performance, like I say, is as close nearly as the resolution, aside if you do use the resume state on the Xbox One, which is yet another game here that highlights it still has some issues to resolve. As you can see on the split screen versions here, we're looking at a near 60 locked version if you restart the machine, but if you use the resume state, we're looking at a game that can drop below the 30 rate and, more importantly, have frame pacing issues all over the place. As you can see from my frame time graph spiking up, down, if left, right and centre if it could, it's that bad and it feels terrible when you're playing it. It's certainly an issue that needs to be resolved, but to resolve it yourself you simply perform a clean restart or reboot and away you go. They both perform very close indeed, as you can see on screen, with the full metrics analysing both versions in identical play sections at the end of the video. So if you are looking to dip back into some Resident Evil action, then both versions will see you just fine. As always, I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this. If you did, then please hit the like and subscribe button, as it really helps me immensely. You guys and girls take care, and remember, if some strange folk are trying to bite you on the arse, they may not always be a zombie. I'll see you soon on the next one.
You all right?